Developing this morning, a deal to get oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz again could be inked any hour now. Iranian and Omani negotiators reportedly finalizing a draft to reopen the key shipping route, but it still needs the green light from Iran's supreme leader. The White House may still need to sign off as well. President Trump has spent weeks saying an Iran deal is close and promised a miracle out on the road last night. Take a listen.
And as soon as this situation ends with Iran, oil is going to go down to the floor, gasoline is going to go down, and we will have completed something in a short period of time. That is a miracle.
News Nation Washington correspondent Corey Smith is live for us at the White House this morning. Corey, is this the Iran deal that people had in mind?
Marky, most likely not, but it may be the deal President Trump was hinting at on Tuesday when he was asked about reopening the strait and said, quote, "We'll know in 48 hours. Well, that would be today. Look, this would mark a major breakthrough, but critics of the president's strategy here say it would represent a major concession on the part of the United States and leave Iran with more leverage over the strait than it had before the war. We should point out this would be a temporary deal. According to a source familiar with these talks, Iran would control the northern portion of the strait closest to its coastline, and Oman would control the southern side. That's the portion the U.S. military has said is open to commercial traffic. There has also been talk of some sort of fee being collected with revenue shared by both parties. Now, this agreement would be subject to international maritime law and contingent upon the U.S. lifting its naval blockade. But it could also go a long way in restarting negotiations between the U.S. and Iran on other unresolved issues. Now, in an interview last night, Vice President J.D. Vance addressed the frustration many Americans feel over the lack of clarity coming from the White House on where negotiations stand.
I can certainly understand the American people are maybe looking at this and they say, well, it seems like we're making progress and then it seems like we're not. Well, the reality, Laura, is that number one, the Iranians are extraordinarily difficult people. Number two, they have a fractured system. So there are people within their system who want the war to be over. There are also people within their system who are crazy radicals who want the war to continue. Our job is to navigate through that and get the best outcome for the American people.
Now, another obstacle in these negotiations is the conflict in southern Lebanon. The good news, peace talks in Rome could resume today after ending early yesterday. That's when Israel launched a new round of strikes in southern Lebanon, claiming Iranian-backed Hezbollah violated the terms of the ceasefire. Marky?
And, Corey, the other thing I wanted to ask you about, too, do we have any new updates on those suspected Iranian cyber attacks on U.S. water systems? I mean, those have hit multiple states across the country at this point.
Yeah, Marky, to that point, we're learning more about where this is exactly happening. According to the FBI, water systems in at least 7 states have now been targeted in this growing wave of cyber attacks. First, multiple water systems across Minnesota hacked last week. Officials in Michigan, New Jersey, Georgia, and South Dakota say they were also targeted, and those numbers could grow. The investigation is ongoing, but signs are pointing toward Iran, which, as we know, has targeted U.S. infrastructure going back years now. Marky?
All right, Corey, keep us posted if you hear anything more. Appreciate it. Live from 1600 this morning.